Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, as-salatu was-salamu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'een. Shoaib bhai, can you check the stream if the presets are right? Okay, so anybody here going to Hajj this year? MashaAllah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept. Now, I'm guessing that by now you must have attended several Hajj workshops already. So inshallah, I'm going to keep it short and simple, and I will focus more on some of the things that I have learned from my experience and some recommendations there. The first thing I want to share with you is, where is it? Okay, so if you scan this QR code that you see on the slide, this one, you can get my slides that I'm going to be using. I've been using these same slides for a number of years because I found them to be very useful. So that's the top one. Now, you will see it says 2023 on my slides because we actually did this full-length workshop, like 3 hours long, back in 2023. So the second link is for that. So if you want to watch that whole thing, it's on the Masjid's YouTube channel. If you just search Hajj Workshop, it will come up as well. Okay? So these are the two things. Now the third thing is that if you're still not sure about how to do Hajj and Umrah, so go to youtube.com and go to search Ahsan Hanif Hajj and Ahsan Hanif Umrah. Okay? These are very, very simple videos that we will view together right now, inshallah. So that will make your understanding of Hajj and Umrah very easy. So this is a sheikh from the UK. He studied in Medina, and he made these really nice, simple videos that explain to us how to do Umrah. So inshallah, we'll do Umrah first, and then we'll do Hajj, because obviously, if you're going from here, you're going to do Umrah first, and then you will do Hajj.
Welcome to this Umrah Rights Made Easy presentation. Firstly, let me congratulate you for taking the decision to perform Umrah, and at the same time, thank you for taking out the time to watch this presentation. Ask Allah Ta'ala that He grants us all sincerity. This easy step-by-step guide consists of 7 steps.
Do you have any audio
Step number
control?
1, before leaving home, you must ensure you are ready to enter into the state of Ihram, and you do this by performing the following. Number 1, trim your nails. Number 2, shave the underarm and pubic hair. You must ensure you are in your Ihram clothing. For men, this is 2 white sheets and sandals. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to this Umrah Rights Made Easy presentation. Firstly, let me congratulate you for taking the decision to perform Umrah, and at the same time, thank you for taking out the time to watch this presentation. Ask Allah Ta'ala that He grants us all sincerity. This easy step-by-step guide consists of 7 steps. Step number 1, before leaving. Rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Hajj Rights Made Easy, a whiteboard style
I think that it must be one of the audio issues on the routing of the audio. So, and it's not even playing over here that I could put my mic onto it. Okay, and we'll take a few minutes to work this out, and I'll go back to my slides right now, where we can inshallah look at some of the things. So of course, some of the most important things when it comes to going to Hajj, those who are going, and inshallah those who will go in the future. Any sisters here going for Hajj? Raise your hand. MashaAllah, a few. Anyone else? Inshallah, may Allah accept. First thing is renew your intention. We're going to Hajj, if we're going, not to show off to anyone, not to make it like a status symbol that I'm now a Haji. And if you can go to Hajj and come back and no one knows about it, you would not lose any reward. Meaning, you don't have to tell anybody that you don't have to tell. You don't even have to tell people when you're coming back that I'm coming back from Hajj. You could be coming from that direction, and there are 1,000 other things that people could be coming back from. Meaning, try to avoid the urge to tell everybody, I'm going for Hajj, or I'm doing Hajj, or I just came back from Hajj. Of course, one of the obligations of Hajj is to take a picture of yourself in front of the Kaaba and post it on social media, right? Required? Wajib or fard? If you can not do it, don't do it. Now, I'm not saying that you don't do it for some other reason. There could be other reasons. But if your intention is to show off, don't do it for that reason. It could be, for example, you have a Hajj groups, or you want to help other people. You do it for that reason. You want to encourage some people. Allah knows the intention that's inside us, okay? But if you are not sure about that intention, it's better not to show off. If you have friends and family that you need to ask for forgiveness, that's generally a good idea in any case, okay? You don't necessarily have to call somebody and say, please forgive me if I've done anything wrong because I'm going for Hajj. You can just skip the part about I'm going for Hajj. And that is something that we should do anyways, especially with people that we have any problems with. Now, back in the days, the journey of Hajj was full of perils. What is that? Oh, it's not on there. Okay. So back in the days, the journey of Hajj was full of perils, and it was very likely that if you are going for Hajj, there is 50% chance that you are not going to come back. There was so much more disease, there was so much more rudimentary conditions, water issues, lack of medicine, lack of proper facilities, lack of medical care in case you get sick, traveling on the sea, traveling through the desert, traveling long distances in like weird, quiet areas, isolated areas. So there were lots of things. So in those days, when someone would go for Hajj, they would actually leave for Hajj as if their janazah was being carried out. The whole village would gather in their house, and they would all hug everybody as if this is the last time we're meeting. And then they would say goodbye to them, and then they would leave. So as much as they were excited to go for Hajj, they were also not sure if they're going to come back. In our day and age, that is still possible, but that is just as much possible like when you go out from your house to go get milk from the store, you could die in a car accident as well. So the odds of something bad happening are not necessarily any higher than just getting in a car and going anywhere, because cars are the #1 reasons for leading cause of deaths in America, if I'm not mistaken. So, and elsewhere, it's even more dangerous. By the way, in Hajj, traffic is probably one of the most dangerous things. If you are walking on the road, do not assume that the car will stop, because they will not. I have personally seen a man die right in front of me from getting hit by the car that I was sitting in, and I wasn't driving, and basically it was his time, and subhanAllah, Hajj was done. We were going to the airport, and this Haji was probably shopping to get some gifts for his kids and whatnot, and subhanAllah, right in front of us, he came in front of the car, decided to go back. The guy was trying to avoid him, but he was going this way and he was going this way, and it happened. So please be very, very careful about traffic over there. That's probably the most dangerous thing. Also, if you have any debts, then you're supposed to either pay the debts off, or you're supposed to get permission from the person that you owe money to, that I'm going for Hajj, and I'm going to pay you, and whatever you need to say. But essentially, if you owe money to someone, that money is due, that you were supposed to have paid back already, you're not supposed to use that money to go for Hajj. You're supposed to pay them off first. If you could say, you know what, my mother is ill and she was going for Hajj, and I don't know how many more years she has, so it's an emergency that I have to go with her. You got to have a good reason to convince them. Also, prepare your will, which is, if you have children, you sign off that, okay, if I don't come back, who will take care of my children? If you have hidden wealth in different corners of your house, you have secret compartments where you have hidden gold coins or whatever, if you don't want to tell anybody else, just let me know, okay? Inshallah, I will take care of it for you. That in case you don't make it back, then we'll just make sure you let me know what my portion is. But somebody needs to know. So your will would basically say that if I don't make it back, then these are the affairs that should be taken care of. And of course, you tell your family members that my assets, my wealth should be divided according to the Islamic rules of inheritance. Some of the good apps, I don't know if this Hajj Salam app is still updated, but it was a good app. A few years ago, I used it, that it gave you some guidance on Hajj and Umrah and had some features. Also, My Dua apps. My Dua or any other Dua app that you like and you use. Because of course you're in a place where you'll get a chance to make lots of dua and dhikr. So either you memorize them, or you take a book, or you take an app, whatever is useful. These things are good to have with you, inshallah. Now, any progress on the sound? It's working over there, but the video that I'm trying to play, can you ask? Let me try again.
Presentation
Yes.
concerning the Hajj rights.
Can you ask Brother Saidu if something could be done?
On a day-by-day basis. Now, for many people, the rights of Hajj are an exciting yet daunting prospect.
So,
simply because of the
you want to
many rules
take
and
obviously your
regulations
general
involved.
medications,
So
your nowadays, of course, one thing I tell you is that Alhamdulillah, in Mecca and Medina, on every corner there is, or very short distance away, there's a pharmacy there, and you can go there and you can get medication. There are also free medical clinics all around the Haram, around Hajj and Umrah, and they can give you your basic medicine, which is not specifically prescribed for you, like antibiotics, antivirals, these type of things. They have plenty, and they will be happy to help you out. But if there is any specific medicine that you need to take, then you need to make sure that you take those with you. And you can also take your own favorite brands of, over-the-counter medication for general headaches, sinus pressure, allergies, stomach upset, vitamin C pills. Some say it's not vitamin C, it's vitamin E. That's really good for your immune system and support. Whatever it is, you want to avoid being weak. Because this is a time, the Prophet ﷺ said that Hajj is the jihad of the people who cannot participate in jihad. So he called it a jihad, and it really is. Even in today's day and age, when there's air travel and air-conditioned buses, it is still extremely difficult on your body. Your sleep schedule is messed up, you're away from home, food and water is different. So it's very likely that you can get weak and sick. So take care of yourself preemptively. Make sure you drink your water well, plenty of water. Drink Zamzam when you are there, and make sure that you sleep well. You need to know how much your body needs to sleep, and you need to, my advice is, from personal experiences, if you sleep well and drink enough water, generally you will be okay. But most people, it's a whole storm that comes together. They're not sleeping well, they're not eating and drinking well, they are not comfortable where they are, they're in a foreign environment, and then there's so many viruses that are there, everybody is coughing. So what ends up happening is that all of those things come together and you get knocked out. And I have seen people that they went before Hajj, like 4 or 5 days before Hajj, and they exerted themselves so much that on the day of Arafah, they got severely ill and were put on a hospital in an ambulance and taken to the hospital in the plain of Arafah.
But remember
Okay,
that those
so
pebbles
all
must
of
be
the
made of
extra
natural
worship
stone.
that you
They
do,
cannot be cement or
you
tarmac.
don't do
And
before
also
Hajj,
remember that
you
the
do
size
after
of a
Hajj.
pebble should be around the
Extra
size of a
exertion.
chickpea. You
If
only
you
stone
are,
the big pillar on this
if
day.
you know, some people
You
say, I want
stone
to
by
make
saying
Umrah
Allahu
after
Akbar
every
for each
Salah.
pebble, and you must ensure that the
Sorry,
pebbles
I want
fall
to make
within the
Tawaf
basin
after
surrounding
every
the pillar.
Salah. You
Stone
can do
the
that
pillar 7
after
times
you're done with
using
Hajj.
one pebble at
But
a
before
time.
you go,
And
just make
after
one
this, you will
Umrah,
stop making the talbiyah
and then
and
after
replace it with
that,
the
maybe do
takbirat
one
of Eid.
Tawaf a day.
The second of
Go
the
to
rites
the
to be
masjid,
performed on this
maybe
day
once, pray
is
your
the
salah,
sacrifice.
rest over there,
There is a
relax.
sacrifice due
Don't
upon
be in
each and
like
every single
constant
person performing
rush and
Hajj unless
movement
they are
and
making
going through the
ifrad,
crowds and
and that
everything
is
like
one
that.
sheep
Because the
per
more
person,
you exert
or a group
yourself,
of
the more
7
you're
can
going to
take
get
shares
sick.
in a cow
And
or a
you are
camel.
there for one
You can
purpose
perform
and
the
one purpose
sacrifice
only,
yourself,
which is
or
to
you can
complete
deputize
your
someone else,
obligation of
for
Hajj.
example, by
That is
purchasing
the
the
most
coupons
important
made available
obligation
by
at
the
this time.
Saudi government.
If you want to spend lots
The
of
third of
time
the
near the
rites to be
Kaaba
performed on
and
this
your
day
hotel is
is
far
to
away
trim
or
or
you're
shave the
staying
hair.
far away,
Men should
you
trim or
can,
shave the hair
right
equally,
now you're
and
spending
to shave for
probably
them is more
$10,000,
virtuous.
$15,000,
Women
if
trim their
not
hair
more,
just as they
to
did for
go
the
and
Umrah
fulfill
by
your
cutting their
obligation of
fingertips
Hajj.
hair.
At
The fourth
any
and
other
final of
time,
the
you can
rites on this
spend
day
$2,000 to
is to perform the
$3,000
tawaf and the
and go and
sa'i,
stay in the
also known as the
closest
tawaf
hotel
and
to the
sa'i of
Kaaba
Ifadah.
and do
You go to
all of
Mecca and you
your,
proceed to the Kaaba, or
fulfill,
you make
drink
tawaf
from
around the
the
Kaaba with
fountain of
7
Kaaba
circuits.
and
You then
see it
pray the
as
2
much as you
rak'ahs
want.
behind Maqam
But right
Ibrahim
now,
or anywhere
you need
else in the
to
masjid,
conserve
and you
your
drink from
energy
Zamzam,
so that you don't
and then
get
you go
sick
to Safa and
until the
Marwa and
Hajj is
perform
done.
the 7 circuits
After Hajj,
of
do whatever you
sa'i,
want.
and you are now
Obviously,
out of the
after
state
Hajj,
of
you need
the
to
major
travel
ihram.
back. Okay?
The
And you don't
remaining
want to
days of
get
Hajj,
really
4,
sick
5,
when
and
you're
6,
traveling.
or the
So,
11th, 12th, and 13th of
just
Dhul Hijjah are
moderate
known as the
any
days
of
of
your
Tashriq.
activity.
And these days are spent in Mina.
For the men,
The
of
only thing
course,
to do in
Vaseline is
these
very
days is
important
to
because
stone
when
the
you're
3
going to be
jamarat
in the state of
each and
Ihram,
every single day
your
that you are
legs
there,
tend to rub
the
against
13th
each
of Dhul
other,
Hijjah being
and
an optional day.
you
The
will
preferred timing
need
for stoning
some
is between
Vaseline to
noon
help
and
with
until the
that.
sun sets.
You want to have
You go
light
towards the
material
small jamara
clothing.
and you stone it 7
You want to
times,
have some
after which
simple
it is the sunnah
slippers,
to make
which
dua.
you can also
You
buy
then
from there.
proceed to
But
the middle
generally,
jamara or
what
pillar
we
and
recommend
again
is that
stone it
whatever
7
shoes you're
times
going to
and
be
again
wearing
make
over
dua
there,
after stoning the
you
middle
should
jamara.
put them
You then
on
proceed
right
to the large
here
pillar or the
and
Jamrat
start walking
al-Aqaba
in them
and
now.
again stone it 7
Break them in
times, but
because
this time there is
some
no
people,
dua
they
to
say,
be made.
this is brand new that I'm going
The
to wear
final
in
rite of
Mecca
Hajj
and
is the
Medina.
Tawaf
Okay?
al-Wida, which is
And
made
when they
before you
wear
leave
them,
Mecca.
that's a new
So once you
shoe.
leave Mina
It
on the
needs
12th or
adjustment and
13th
it's
of
like
Dhul Hijjah
bothering
and
them and it's
return to
not
Mecca,
comfortable.
before you leave the city
Also,
of Mecca, you must perform
the
the Tawaf
brothers who are
al-Wida.
going to Jeddah
And this is
first and
performed
then
by
going
making
to
7
Mecca
circuits of
first,
Tawaf
they
around the
need to
Kaaba.
keep their
You then
ihram
go and pray 2
in their
rak'ahs behind
carry-on so
Maqam
that they could put
Ibrahim
it on
and drink
in
from
the plane
Zamzam,
or
and then
before,
you have
and
completed the
so
rites
that
of
they
Hajj.
don't get
May
in,
Allah
because if you are
tabaraka wa
late, then
ta'ala
you might
accept
be
your Hajj,
you are in
Hajj
violation
al-Mabrur,
of the
wa
rules of
Sa'y
ihram.
al-Mashkur, wa Dhammu
You can have an extra set of ihram if you
Hajj,
have
the pillar of Hajj
usually
is the
what I
5th
do is
pillar,
that I have an
and I think
expensive
it's
one and I
really
have a cheap one.
wonderful to me
I
that
wear the expensive
of
one
all the
and I
pillars
keep
of
the cheap one
Islam,
as a
even though
backup,
all of
that
these
in case
pillars are
something
based on
happens and
ability.
whatever, then I have that.
Zakat, if you're not able to pay it, you don't pay it. Fasting, if you're not able to fast, you don't fast.
Okay, good.
Porn addiction turns high IQ.
What would you tell a
Okay. Jazakallah khair.
wa alaykum wa rahmatullahi.
All right. So let me just complete this slide and then we'll go back to this video. So you want to have some safety pins, and this is especially important for men because if you're not from the countries where they wear lungi, then you need extra protection. So you want to make sure that you put on a belt, and you can even wear just normal pants belt. Once you tie your ihram, you can actually put on a regular belt that you wear for any pants. But if you want to go a little bit extra, you can get one of those ihram belts which have pockets in them. So you can put your money, your phone, your hotel room key, you can put some of those things in there. Brother Omer, did you scan the slides QR code? So you don't have to take pictures, you have the whole slides. Yeah, just enjoy, inshallah. You can have a credit card, an ATM card for emergencies, and some small amount of cash. What is the likelihood of your wallet getting stolen in Hajj? What is that? In my experience, that is not a very high likelihood anymore. Okay? However, there is a high likelihood of you losing your wallet. losing your wallet. So what I do is I keep my main stack, if I have a big stack of money, in my room. There's usually, they provide you a locker. I keep the main stuff there, and every day I'll take $100, $200 out, as much as I need, and use that around. In case I lose it, that's the only amount that I will lose, instead of losing a whole thing. Because, for me, the biggest concern is I don't want to lose something that is so valuable that it then destroys my khushu. And I'm just worried about what I lost. And it's hard to get over a big loss. So don't put yourself in a position where you could lose something. One of the things that I did is I got these iTags, Apple AirTags, or any other forms of tags. And what you can do is you can put one in each of your bags, and you can put one in your hand luggage or whatever. Even when you go there, if you have a shoulder bag, put one tag in there. So if you ever lose it, you just turn on your phone, and it will show you where it is. And you can make it beep, and it will start beeping, and you can quickly go and you can find it, instead of having to worry about it. And the whole thing, it cost $60. $60 for this level of protection is extremely worth it, where I don't necessarily have to worry about. Now, even luggage doesn't get stolen, it gets misplaced. What is that? Actually, these tags, they cover anywhere, and what they do is that if there's another iPhone that passes by, or another phone, they connect with that and they transmit their signal. So they are very, very, everybody has iPhones these days, so they are very good. In fact, we plan to put some of them in our kids' pockets when they come to ICBC. So afterwards, when we have to find all our kids, we can just look in the tags and say, oh, that's where they are, get them. So multi-purpose. So and then they have ATM machines everywhere, and they also have stores where you can just go and swipe your card. So you can just notify your card that I'm going to be in Saudi Arabia for this many days. So if I swipe over there, don't declare it as fraud. So then you can just, any big stores that you go to, you don't even have to pay with cash. You can just swipe your card, and they will just charge dollars in the amount of Saudi riyals that you used. You want to have a Hajj guide, and you want to know Hajj very well. You don't want to get there and worry about how to do Hajj or how to do Umrah. Okay? So these resources I'm sharing with you, you can even download them and keep them with you. Or you can even print them and write your own notes on them and take that with you. So you have, I know that you're going to be in a situation, if you haven't been there, it's still new, but you should have it down, and don't just copy what everybody else does. Don't copy what everyone else does, because while you are copying them, they might be copying you. Instead, don't follow ignorance, follow knowledge, follow ilm. Okay, these are some basic stuff, Gatorade packets or electrolytes. You want to have a bit of a mat that you will use, but again, you can buy that stuff over there. So there are pharmacies all around, and there are small like grocery stores, and there are stores that sell all the Hajj supplies, belts, ihrams, these mats to sleep in Muzdalifah, all of these type of things. And they are very cheap, and you may want to just buy them, use them, and leave them there, so that you don't even have to take them all the way from here and bring them back all the way from there. One of the things you need is that you need a sling bag that you put around your shoulder, let's say, to put all your basic supplies. And you need a shoe bag, because every time you go to the masjid, you're going to take your shoes off, you're going to put them on a shoe rack. Those shoe racks, they have a weird numbering system. It's not anymore? No more shoe stands? You can wear your shoes, yeah. But sometimes you're going to be, in a carpeted area, you're going to take your shoes off. So the best thing is that you have a plastic bag or something. You put your shoes in there, and then you put them in your bag, and you take them with you everywhere you go, so then you don't have that problem. But the shoe issue, I'll tell you, that a lot of people don't listen to me, but I tell them, there's no prohibition on wearing shoes that are not impure in the tawaf or in sa'i. Okay, so you can actually keep your comfortable shoes or your slippers or whatever. If you're in the state of ihram, they have to be ihram approved shoes, slippers. If you're not in the state of ihram, then you can wear sneakers or whatever you're comfortable with, and that's what I do my tawaf in and sa'i and everything, and it's so much better on my feet. And one of the things that always happens is you get blisters from walking so much. So the first thing you can do to avoid blisters is to actually have your comfortable shoes, and whenever you're not in the state of ihram, you're going to be in the state of ihram for how long? When you get there, you're going to be in the state of ihram to do your Umrah. That's going to be probably a maximum of 24 hours. If the bus rides takes a long time from Medina, then you arrive 2-3 hours to make Umrah. Really stretching it out, maybe 18 hours, you're going to be in the state of ihram. And then you're going to be in the state of ihram for about 48 hours, starting from the 8th of Dhul Hijjah till the morning of the 10th of Dhul Hijjah. Okay? Then you basically, once you come and you stone the Jamarat, then you're going to be able to shave your head and get out of ihram. This is the only time. So that's basically about 48 hours to 72 hours maximum that you're going to have to not be able to wear shoes. So other than that, protect your feet and take care of them. Some people, they wear like thick socks. Okay, now let's look at these videos. So how to do Umrah.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to this Umrah Rights Made Easy presentation. Firstly, let me congratulate you for taking the decision to perform Umrah, and at the same time thank you for taking out the time to watch this presentation. Ask Allah Ta'ala that He grants us all sincerity. This easy step-by-step guide consists of 7 steps. Step number 1, before leaving home, you must ensure you are ready to enter into the state of ihram, and you do this by performing the following. Number 1, trim your nails. Number 2, shave the underarm and pubic hair. Number 3, men should trim their mustache. Number 4, take a ghusl or a bath. And number 5, men can apply perfume to the body, but must not apply it to their ihram sheets. Remember, don't make your intention yet for the ihram, as you have yet to pass the miqat. Also note that the ihram is a state you enter into once you utter the intention. Ihram is not assumed simply by wearing the clothing. Step number 2 is that once you have left your home but have yet to reach the miqat, you must ensure you are in your ihram clothing. For men, this is 2 white sheets and sandals. For women, this is their normal clothing and footwear, over which they wear the hijab and the jilbab. Step number 3 is once you reach the miqat. Whether traveling by land or by air, you can pass by or parallel to the miqat. It is here that you make the intention by saying, Labbaik Allahumma Umrah. Once you have done this, you are now in a state of ihram, and all of the restrictions apply. Some of these restrictions apply to both men and women. These are no trimming of the hair, of the nails, no removal of any hair, no using perfume including scented products, no hunting, no involvement in marriage, and no sexual foreplay and or intercourse. Other restrictions apply to men alone. These are no covering the head and no wearing of any sewn clothes. The restrictions which apply to women alone are no wearing of gloves and no wearing of the niqab, which is the face veil. Step number 4 is to make the tawaf. Once you enter into al-Masjid al-Haram in Mecca, and before you start the tawaf, men should uncover their right shoulder, and this is done for the first 3 circuits only. Proceed to the Kaaba and to the corner of the Kaaba with the black stone. Once at the black stone, start by kissing it or touching it, and if not possible, simply by pointing towards it. Say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, and then keeping the Kaaba to your left, walk around the Kaaba in an anti-clockwise direction. If possible, men should lightly jog for the first 3 circuits. Once you arrive at the Yemeni corner, which is the corner before the Kaaba, touch it if possible. Continue until you reach the black stone again. You have now completed one circuit of tawaf. Say Allahu Akbar and now begin circuit number 2.
Notice that he says the second time around, you don't say Bismillah Allahu Akbar. You say Bismillah Allahu Akbar the first time. Then every time you come around, you just point and you say Allahu Akbar. What is that? He's going to see everybody. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's get through this.
You have completed all 7 circuits of tawaf. Step number 5 is after you have finished and completed the tawaf, proceed to Maqam Ibrahim. Pray 2 rak'ahs behind the maqam, or if it is too congested, anywhere else in the masjid. Next, proceed to Zamzam. Zamzam taps and containers are located around the masjid. Drink from Zamzam and if possible, pour over your head. Step number 6 is to do the sa'i. Proceed to the sa'i area. Start from the mountain of As-Safa, which is the one closest to the Kaaba. Walk until you reach the mountain of Marwa. You have now completed one circuit of sa'i. Men should lightly jog between the 2 green lights. Do this for 7 circuits until you reach and you finish your sa'i at the mountain of Marwa. The 7th and final step of the Umrah is to shave or trim the hair. Men must either shave all of the head or trim equally from all over. Women must gather the ends of their hair together and cut a fingertip's length. Congratulations, you have now completed your Umrah and you are out of the state of Ihram. May Allah accept your Umrah.
So this is at least for a person to have the theoretical knowledge. Now, once you have your theoretical knowledge, okay, these are the steps, then there are like hundreds, thousands of videos that you can actually see where people are actually doing those things. And there is one which I normally show as well, but today because we need to kind of get through and we need to finish in time, so we're just keeping it simple. But if you feel like, I'm not ready and I need more help, and I'm sure those who are going for Hajj have been watching other stuff as well, especially first time. But if you need, just contact me and inshallah I'll help you out and provide you some more material. So now, once you arrive, you have done your Umrah. Usually you have a few days left before Hajj begins. Most of the people, they arrive maybe 4 days or 8 days or 9 days before Hajj. And they spend some time in Mecca, they spend some time in Medina. So again, be careful not to exert yourself during this time. On the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, Hajj will begin, which is officially 9th, but the 8th is the day that people start going to Mina. So now we'll look at what are the rites of Hajj. Again, you want to have all of this theoretical knowledge down, and then when you start to see everything, then you're like, okay, I remember reading about this. This is what we are supposed to do here.
Welcome to Hajj Rites Made Easy, a whiteboard-style presentation concerning the Hajj rites on a day-by-day basis. Now, for many people, the rites of Hajj are an
Is the volume low in the back?
Aspect,
Or is
simply
good?
because of the many rules and
Good?
regulations involved.
Okay.
So the aim here, inshallah ta'ala, is to make Hajj as easy to follow and simple and basic as possible, bearing in mind that we won't be repeating anything that was covered in the previous Umrah rites presentation. The Hajj consists of 6 days. Day number 1 is the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, which is also known as the day of Tarwiyah. And it is on this day that you will assume the Ihram. So if you're in Mecca, then you will assume Ihram from your place of residence, be that a hotel or be that your apartment building. And if you're outside of Mecca, then you'll assume Ihram as you pass by the Miqat. Either way, you assume Ihram by saying Labbaik Allahumma Hajjan, and once you do this, all of the restrictions of Ihram now apply. Once you have assumed Ihram, you make your way to Mina. Mina is the 10th city which is closely located to Mecca, and it is the place where you will be spending the majority of the days of Hajj. There is no special rites to be performed on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah in Mina, but one thing to bear in mind is that the prayers that are 4 rak'ahs normally like Dhuhr, Asr and Isha will be shortened to 2, but they are not combined, meaning that you pray each prayer at a specific time. Other than this, use your time wisely and productively, remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and preparing for the 9th of Dhul Hijjah. The second day of Hajj is the 9th of Dhul Hijjah, which is also known as the day of Arafah, and it is the most important day of Hajj. In the morning after you pray Fajr, proceed from Mina and go towards Arafah, and once you arrive in Arafah, aim to be there by Dhuhr. At Dhuhr time, pray Dhuhr and Asr, shortened and combined at Dhuhr time, and then continue to make dua until the sun sets. After sunset, you will leave from Arafah and make your way to Muzdalifah. Remember that you do not pray Salatul Maghrib and Isha in Arafah, but rather you wait until you arrive in Muzdalifah. Once in Muzdalifah, pray Maghrib and Isha, shortening the Isha prayer from 4 rak'ahs to 2 and combining the two prayers. After this, you rest in Muzdalifah until Fajr of the next morning. The 10th of Dhul Hijjah is the third day of Hajj, and it is known as the day of sacrifice or the day of An-Nahr. And this is the busiest day of Hajj in terms of the rites of Hajj, because there are 4 rites to be completed on this day. The middle Jamrah or pillar, and again stone it 7 times, and again make and until the sun sets. You go combined, meaning that you pray to make dua until the sun sets. And make your way to Muzdalifah. Remember Muzdalifah. Once in Muzdalifah, pray to 2 and morning. The 10th of Dhul Hijjah is the third day of Hajj, and it is known as the day of sacrifice or the day of An-Nahr. And this is the busiest day of Hajj in terms of the rites of Hajj, because there are 4 rites to be completed on this day. These rites can be performed in any order, but you will be following the order of the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. In the morning when you wake up, pray Fajr and make dua until sunrise, and after sunrise, proceed from Muzdalifah and go back to Mina. Once you arrive in Mina, you make your way to the Jamratul Aqaba or to the big pillar. You can collect pebbles anywhere during the days of Hajj, but remember that those pebbles must be made of natural stone. They cannot be cement or tarmac. And also remember that the size of a pebble should be around the size of a chickpea. You only stone the big pillar on this day. You stone by saying Allahu Akbar for each pebble, and you must ensure that the pebbles fall within the basin surrounding the pillar. Stone the pillar 7 times, using 1 pebble at a time, and after this you will stop making the talbiyah and replace it with the takbirat of Eid. The second of the rites to be performed on this day is the sacrifice. There is a sacrifice due upon each and every single person performing Hajj, unless they are making ifrad, and that is 1 sheep per person, or a group of 7 can take shares in a cow or a camel. You can perform the sacrifice yourself, or you can deputize someone else, for example by purchasing the coupons made available by the Saudi government. The third of the rites to be performed on this day is to trim or shave the hair. Men should trim or shave the hair equally, and to shave for them is more virtuous. Women trim the hair just as they did for the Umrah by cutting a fingertip's length. The fourth and final of the rites on this day is to perform the Tawaf and the Sa'i, also known as the Tawaf and Sa'i of Ifadah. You go to Mecca and you proceed to the Kaaba, where you make Tawaf around the Kaaba with 7 circuits. You then pray the 2 rak'ahs behind Maqam Ibrahim or anywhere else in the masjid, and you drink from Zamzam. And then you go to Safa and Marwa and perform the 7 circuits of Sa'i, and you are now out of the state of the major Ihram. The remaining days of Hajj, 4, 5 and 6, or the 11th, 12th and 13th of Dhul Hijjah, are known as the days of Tashriq, and these days are spent in Mina. The only thing to do in these days is to stone the 3 Jamarat each and every single day that you are there, the 13th of Dhul Hijjah being an optional day. The preferred timing for stoning is between noon and until the sun sets. You go towards the small Jamara and you stone it 7 times, after which it is the sunnah to make dua. You then proceed to the middle Jamara or pillar and again stone it 7 times, and again make dua after stoning the middle Jamara. You then proceed to the large pillar or the Jamratul Aqaba and again stone it 7 times, but this time there is no dua to be made. The final rite of Hajj is the Tawaf al-Wida', which is made before you leave Mecca. So once you leave Mina on the 12th or 13th of Dhul Hijjah and return to Mecca, before you leave the city of Mecca you must perform the Tawaf al-Wida'. And this is performed by making 7 circuits of Tawaf around the Kaaba. You then go and pray 2 rak'ahs behind Maqam Ibrahim and drink from Zamzam, and then you have completed the rites of Hajj, May Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala accept your Hajj, Hajjun Mabrur, wa Sa'yun Mashkur, wa Dhanbun Maghfur.
How to
Okay, so that's essentially the amount of detail that I want to go into, and now I'll cover some of the remaining tips and strategies, and then we'll take some questions. Travel as light as possible. Normally, the American or the Western mindset is that the Western tourist shows up with everything in their bag. They are prepared for any and all situation. Because we have money in our pockets, we have Amazon Prime membership, and we basically order a whole lot of stuff, or we go to the store, the travel section, and this and that. Travel as light as possible. Saudi Arabia, as you know, is essentially a very rich country, and almost anything that you can think of is probably available over there, just a block away from you, that you don't have to worry about leaving something. Now, one thing is very important these days is to have a Saudi SIM card or some sort of international phone service that will allow you to be able to stay in contact with your group, stay in contact with your family, and then things just make it so much easier. Back in the days, in the pre-phone days, you would basically say that, hey, your wife will go in the women's section, and you tell her that I'll meet you at the gate here. And then when you come back at the gate, there are like thousands of people passing through, and it's so hard to find somebody. And you don't know if my wife already came and waited for me and left, or she didn't come yet. And you don't have a way of confirming where she is. So generally, if you are in the area, you have a phone, basically that will make all of these things so much easier for you. Don't be a tourist or a photographer, meaning you're not there to just kind of, just like a tourist. You're there for ibadah. You're there to connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's no problem in taking a few pictures here and there, but for some people, like, instead of actually enjoying the moment, appreciating the moment, they take their phone out and they're recording it. And I tell you, most of the people, whenever something nice happens, people take out their phones and they start videos. How many times do they ever go back and look at those videos? They just fill up our memories, and then eventually we have to get another extension in our space iCloud account and get more. It's very important to keep copies of your important documents printed. Leave one at home. These days, you don't even have to do that. Just email it to yourself. So that way, if you lose anything, there is a building. Now, one thing people say, man, they get really anxious about their passport being in somebody else's hand. You don't have to be anxious. There is a building in Jeddah near the airport. If you go there and you show a copy of your passport, they have some verification system with the government here, and they will basically look up your name and everything, and they will give you a temporary document with which you will be able to travel back. Okay? So if your passport gets lost or something, just relax. No need to worry. This whole trip, it's all about maintaining, controlling your stress and be in the moment. Some people say that, what if I can't fly back home on time? I tell them, well, if you can't fly back home on time, you are in the Holy Land. Enjoy another day or two. Go pray more in the Kaaba. Don't worry about, I gotta get back because what happens? Patience and a positive attitude, these things will go a long way. Anything else will not go 100%, but patience and a positive attitude. Every single thing that you can think of that you prepared for, at some point it's going to go bad. This is a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sometimes it will be your roommate, sometimes it will be your bus, sometimes it will be your train, sometimes it will be your flight, sometimes it will be your documentation, sometimes you get lost in Mina. All of these type of things happen. But patience and a positive attitude will get you to have a good Hajj and a good experience and good memories. But if you are all stressed out, then you're not going to have a good time, and you're going to be looking forward to coming back home when you were among a very small percentage of people who were blessed and fortunate enough to be able to be there at this time in these days. So appreciate every single moment of it that Allah has chosen you, and there are so many people who would love to take your spot there. Do not do what everybody else does in Hajj, because much of what people do is based in ignorance, and they are just doing it. Even if everybody is doing it, but you have not learned about it before from your trustworthy sources, you would not miss out if you don't do anything over there while everybody else is doing it. They will, when you go to the Arafah, you will see people climbing up the mountain. And there is no special significance of climbing up the mountain of Arafah. Any area of it is just as holy as every other area, except that going up is going to cost you more calories, more energy, more exertion. And the view isn't even that much better from up top. It's just the same. So, be very careful with what you do and how you do it. Prepare your will. Some of the generic items I recommend and I find useful is, for example, a book of dua if you don't have them memorized, so you can really make dua. One of the things that I do is I download, like these Imams at the end of Ramadan, they do like a 20, 30-minute long duas. So I have some favorite ones that they cover so many things. I have downloaded them on my phone, so I'm not even worried about using my data. And I like to go, when the things are quiet, go in tawaf or go in sa'i, put my headphone on, and that basically the dua is being played and I'm saying Ameen with it, and I'm in my own spiritual state, and I'm not worried about what else is happening, what else is going. When there's a moment to stop and do the sunnah of the Prophet, make dua yourself, stop for a minute, do that, then continue onwards. A small notebook is something that I find very useful to write down some things that you need to remember, your numbers. It's a small notebook, and a pen is very handy because your phone will also abandon you at times. Your phone will die and you will not have charging. You will have to save it for something else. You want to have a very nice long list of du'as for yourself, for your loved ones, for your teachers, for your imams, for your friends, for your neighbors, for your country, for other countries, for the ummah. Things that you want in the dunya, things that you want in the akhirah, things that you want specifically for your children. All of those things, have them there, so that when it's the moment that this is the spot, when you throw the jamarat, the Prophet ﷺ used to stop, and he used to face the qibla, and he used to make a long dua. When he would go to Safa, he would stop and he would look at the Kaaba if he could. Of course, in that time he could. In our time, you have to kind of find a little gap and look in the direction of the Kaaba and make a long dua. When you go to Marwa, then you get to Marwa, you face the Kaaba, you make the dua. So these are beautiful occasions of acceptance of dua because the Prophet stopped there to make dua. So you should also do the same thing as well. One of the things that I find useful in tawaf and sa'i, because you will be doing many, is to have a manual way of remembering how many you have done. Okay, they have this little, like a 7-beat tasbih, masbaha, that you can put in your finger and just basically move one bead when you have completed it or started it, whatever you want to do. But you want to have some mechanism to remember that which one is this? So what I do is that on my watch, I have a counter. So my rule is, I don't click the counter until I've completed the circuit. Okay, because somewhere along the line you're like, well, it says 4. Am I starting 4 or am I finishing 4? So my rule is I only click it when I get to the end. Then I know that whatever number it says, this many I have done. Now I have to do the rest. You want to get earplugs if you want to get some good sleep in your room. When people are tired, they tend to snore more. and everyone's going to be tired all the time. So you're going to be with roommates, so have some nice earplugs. Nice as in like even the cheapest possible ones will really, really reduce the symphony of orchestra that's going to be happening in your room. So the earplugs will be very helpful. If you are light sensitive, then an eye mask, so that if people are coming, turning the light on and off, you don't have to worry about that. You put your mask on and you go to sleep and you don't have to worry about that. I personally tell you that sleep is very important when you are traveling anywhere. But when you're traveling on such a difficult journey, sleep is even more important, that you get the proper rest. Otherwise, every day your body does not fully recover. So the first day that you didn't rest, the next day you're at 80%. Then you're at 60%. Then you're at 50%. Then you're at 40%. Then you start to get sick. And now, instead of focusing on the beautiful things that you can do outside, you're on your bed, taking medications, going to hospitals, throwing up, and people are also, it's a headache for other people to take care of a sick companion as well. So watch these things. When you are in a room, you may want to agree on some cleaning basics with your roommate so that you don't get into fights or arguments with them over what's going on. We tell people whenever we take groups that you're not allowed to be talking on your phone in the room when other people are sleeping. Because if you need to talk to your family and they need to get some sleep, go outside in the lobby and talk over there instead of being in the room. Please use your own toothbrush. Do you need a prayer mat over there? Why? Okay. Yes. Because lots of time you will have to pray on the side of the road, in the dirt, you will have to pray. So if you have a prayer mat, just a simple light one, you can feel a lot better than you can pray anywhere. So it's very useful to have that. One of the things that now they're doing, by the way, is that those who are going for Hajj, you may want to think about this, is that the USCIS can ask you for your phone when you come back. And they have some software where they basically plug it in, and it basically gives them a quick summary of how anti-Semitic you are. Okay? And one of the things that some of the civil rights organizations recommend is that you don't take your main phone with you, but you take a burner phone or a phone that is empty and doesn't have any of your accounts signed in. It just has basic information in there, so they can plug it in and they can get whatever they need to get, and it will not really give them any red flags on you. Of course, there shouldn't be any red flags, but right now they're not necessarily being fair and objective. They are basically trying to, control opposition. Wi-Fi is generally available in many places. If I'm not mistaken, even in the vicinity of the Kaaba and Masjid al-Haram, they now have free Wi-Fi available that you can use. But it's always good when you get there, get a local SIM card that has a data plan, and then you can use plenty of maps and WhatsApp and all of those, whatever apps that you use. Now, one of the things that you want to do is when you are in Mina, when you get to Mina, you get to your tent, you save the location of your exact tent in your maps. Okay, because one of the most common things that happens is that all of Mina looks the same. And I'm sure other people have had that happen. I was lost for 4 hours trying to find my tent. So find, and the numbers are confusing. So write down your numbers, take a picture of it, whatever. But also save the location in your maps and download the local area map. Okay, so it's about a 12-mile area, all of the Makkah area. So you can basically download all full detail of it on your phone. So even when there is no data connection, you will have full details and you will be able to navigate back to your place. A sling pouch we mentioned is useful to have a small bag to have your basic essentials in there. You want to wear light stuff in color and fabric because things get very hot over there. You know, just the place, it's hot. However, in Medina, nighttime gets chilly. So you want to have a light jacket. So when you go for Fajr time, you will see like a wind blowing and it can get you sick. So you want to have a head cover when you're not in the state of ihram so that you don't get direct sun burning on you. And I always carry one of those hats that have like a nice long, you know, cowboy style hat, whichever one you like. Or you use the Arab style, you know, the reason why Arabs dress the way they dress is because of the conditions over there, which is that they always have a head cover. Because when they used to be out in the desert, the sun will literally burn you. So you want to cover, you want your eyes, have a good pair of sunglasses. Sunscreen if you are sensitive, or just cover yourself as much as possible. You want to have your basic medicine, this and that. All right. So this stuff we covered already, but you will find that in the slides as well. So let's stop here and let's see if we have any questions in here. Any questions? Priority for those who are going for Hajj. Any experience-related question, like what should I do if this happens or that happens? Okay, if you're making tawaf and you lose something, ask where are Abu Jahl bathrooms? Believe it or not, that's a real thing. So the house of Abu Jahl has now, that location is now bathrooms. Whoever did that was a genius, right? So they're called Abu Jahl Hammam. So you ask anywhere, where's Abu Jahl Hammam? They say they're over there. And over there, there's a lost and found office. So most people's wallets, phones, and stuff that gets lost in the tawaf area, it ends up over there. But one thing to keep in mind, by the way, is that when you have a bag and you have your valuable stuff in your bag in the tawaf, there's sometimes so much crowd that stuff will get squeezed out of your bag. Okay, it will come up and come out from the top. So when you are in that type of crowd, bring your bag forward and put it on your chest instead of on your back. Okay? And when you're in tawaf, never ever be in front of a wheelchair. Okay? If there's a wheelchair behind you, just stop, step aside, say, please go ahead. Nowadays, alhamdulillah, they have another round for the wheelchairs and they send all of them, but some people still manage to squeeze in. What will happen? The wheelchairs, they will hit the back of your feet at the bottom and they will cut them. And there are people whose cut got infected and they could not walk from that wheelchair hitting them from the back. So never, if you see a wheelchair behind you, just let them go. Don't worry, you won't lose anything. Okay, let's take some questions.